Hello everybody, Sander here. So this is kind of my annual 7 years since I came out video. I do them, like I said, annually. Duh. And just kind of to mark the occasion of when I finally started coming out and becoming Sander and all that kind of stuff. So this video, what I figured I would do for this one is just kind of a look back at some of the weird or dumb or crazy firsts that I had when I was kind of navigating this whole gender world and trying to figure out myself and figure out how to be me. And yeah, I had some interesting things that I would do. One of the things we'll start off talking about is names. Sander has always been my name. It's the first name that I officially chose, and I've never looked back. I've never changed my name. It's always been Sander. It always will be Sander. But I put a lot of thought into it, and I saved the documents with all the different names that I considered. Now, these names, I think are cool names. Otherwise, I would not have put them on the paper. So if one of these happens to be your name, this is no offense to you because I seriously consider them. But for me personally, it's a little weird, some of them, and I can't believe I could have almost been these names. Like, I had Mortimer, I had Seymour, I had Byron, I had Merlin, I had Shire, I had Brantley, I had Montgomery, I had Montague, and then for some reason I had Skippy, just completely out of left field. So I could have been Mortimer or Skippy. And I just find those names amusing for me with my personality. I just can't see myself walking up to somebody and being like, "Oh, nice to meet you. My name is Skippy." Like or "Hello, I am Montague. How are you today?" Like I just can't see myself as those at all. And I mean, I had a lot more than that. And I had a lot weirder ones than that. But those were some just some examples that I had seen that kind of stuck with me. I remember telling my ex that, and she was like, "You could have been Mortimer." Like, yeah, I don't know. They don't really fit with me. So I had those names were kind of the first weird ones for that. One of the other really weird things I used to do for my first Packers, because I didn't get an official Packer until several months after I came out. And until then, I went through a sock phase. I would do all kinds of really disturbing things with socks to try to mimic the male extremity. Some of them were just downright terrifying. Some of them I looked at and thought, what are you even supposed to be? And there were a couple that, I just kind of would do like balled up socks or something and sew them into an old pair of underwear to try to make it like a kind of in the front have the pouch and kind of be like a jockstrap kind of thing. And it was just disturbing. It was really disturbing. So I went through sock phase at first because I didn't know what to do or how to come up with a packer or anything. And I would try to do it so that I could kind of be like, does this feel right? Does this feel like I'm a dude and that I should, have something south of the border, So that was a really fun phase. Sock phase. That was really fun. And then with my binding, my first binding, I did a video actually on how to bind without a binder. So it wasn't terrible, but I got to a point where I would just put on like anything to try to hide my chest. I would layer bra after bra after bra, old shirts, anything, mind you, August. And I would try to put like long sleeve shirts over it or hoodies or something to try to hide, the breast situation with these double D's of mine. So I just can't. I just so many bras at one time. I think my record was like 4 or 5 sports bras at once, and at that point it was like just it didn't work anyway. It was getting thick on the top, so it's like it was still showing it at that point because I thought, oh well, the more I put on, the tighter it'll be, and the flat. No, it just wound up looking even puffier. So that didn't work out really. No. So I was thrilled when I got my first binder. Oh my gosh, I was like December of that year, I think. I was so happy. But these things just, but another first of mine that was just like, that was my first time presenting as a male. Dollar store makeup. Okay, dollar store makeup. Eyelash glue from Kmart. And I bought a handlebar mustache from a Halloween store that I chopped up. Mind you, it's like solid black, and my hair is kind of, can't really tell with this lighting, but it's brown. It's kind of got red in it, so it's gotten a lot lighter as I've gotten older. And so, like, jet black hair, and then look at me. I'm like porcelain over here, okay? I am as white as a creepy porcelain doll. And I go to the dollar store and I pick out the lightest shade I can find, and I still looked like an Oompa Loompa. Looked like I had dirt on my face, okay? Like, it looked horrible. My first few pictures I took are just like, what was I thinking? And I thought I looked good. That's the thing that kills me is like the first time I put it on, which took me over 2 hours because I couldn't get it to blend right, and the whole situation just was like, ugh. And I look in the mirror and I'm just like, yeah, I look good. Yeah, this is great. I did a great job. I totally look like a guy. Like, it was so bad. It was horrible. It was absolutely terrible. It really wasn't until a couple months of trying different things and different makeups and adhesives that I didn't quite get it down. And honestly, probably not until the last 2 years has it not gotten to where like it was so obvious. When I was doing like goatees or full beards or whatever, it was so obvious. So that's when I switched to just doing like a little soul patch. And that's worked fine. I've been able to actually go out in it. Nobody's asked questions. Everything's, I've been passing as long as I don't speak with this voice of mine. That's the issue. And the last the last thing I did in the beginning that looking back is I don't know if it's ridiculous or not, but it certainly wasn't the smartest thing I could have done. And at this time, I in August of 2015, I had just become unemployed. I had been working for the HRC as a canvasser in DC for like the month of July. And I wound up having to quit. It was a brutal job, and I got kind of verbally assaulted in the street, and it just really freaked me out, so I quit. So money was not great at that time. And I'm in this place where I had just picked the name Sander, and I wasn't out yet, really, with anybody but my therapist. So my therapist called me Sander, and that was great. But in real life, nobody knew. My family didn't know. Nobody, not even my best friend knew. But I wanted to be called Sander. I wanted to hear my name and see how it felt. And especially since I was still like on that line between am I trans or am I gender fluid? Where do I. And I just wanted to see what it would be like, what it would feel like. So the only way I could think of to get strangers to shout my name at me was to go to Starbucks. So I was at Starbucks so much in August. It was insane how much I was going to Starbucks just because I wanted to see my name written on the cup and have someone shout my name. So I must have spent, I don't even know how much money in August of 2015 at Starbucks. I think I may have single-handedly kept the Starbucks franchise alive that month. And then once I told my best friend and started seeing her more, and she started calling me Sandra more and everything, and I started like making friends and got on social media and things like that, go to open mics as Sandra, like it cut way back. But that first August especially, but kind of that first like tail end of 2015, always at Starbucks just to get my name on a cup. I swear. It was like, really? Like, I know I wanted to hear my name, and I know I wanted to see how it felt to be called that and everything by just random people, but I I could have probably, I don't even know. I probably lost so much money, so much money. I admit sometimes I still do go to Starbucks and say my name's Sander just to get it on a cup and hear someone say it. I do that occasionally. But I found Sander is such a different name that people are not used to that half the time they put Sandra. And that completely eliminates the point. So anyway, when they get it right, that feels really good. So you're welcome, Starbucks. You're welcome. I know, I certainly helped you out before. So anyway, those are just some of like the things I did in the beginning, like strange names, like why did I do dollar store makeup? Why did I spend so much money at Starbucks? Why did I obsess over putting socks down there? Like it's just it's something, I tell you. It is something. So I'm glad that now it's like I have a binder, even though I need a new one because I don't like this one. I have packers that are real, even though I barely use them these days. But, I'm much more, I'm not going to Starbucks every week. I don't got money for that now, and I'm working. Like, I can't afford Starbucks anymore. How did I afford it back then? So, not doing that anymore. My makeup's at least way better. So, it's been a win. It's definitely been a journey, as I always say. It's been something else. It's still a continuing journey. It's still learning how to cope and how to deal with things because I still come across situations where I just don't know what's happening with me. Dysphoria and all this kind of stuff still comes, and all these different situations that are still kind of an issue. But at least I can look back and say, least I'm in a better spot now than I was in 2015. So here's the 7 years, and I was terrified 7 years ago that it's a phase and I'm going to wake up one day and be this cis girl and, have made this big deal about my gender for no reason and destroyed my family relationships for no reason because I'm going to wake up and the whole thing will have been, oh, I just wanted attention. But I feel the same way now that I did as I was coming out, which turns out to be the same way I felt my entire life. And I just didn't have the words or the means to experience it and express it properly. Now I do. So I hope all of you are doing well. Thank you so much for watching this video, especially if you've been with me since forever, because I know I started this shortly after I came out. So it's been a journey. I hope everyone's journey is going well out there, and hopefully I'll be able to do some more videos soon. I don't know, work schedule's been kind of crazy lately. So until next time, I will catch you later.